Are we live? Yes, we are live. Welcome. Welcome to a sunny Tokyo. Sunny Saturday in Tokyo, in Shibuya. I'm here on one of the back streets in the area that's sometimes called Ura Shibuya, or like back Shibuya. Or I don't know how to translate Ura. Like, yeah, the back of Shibuya maybe. And today I plan to go on a longish walk heading north. So not sure exactly what I want to make my goal, but I was thinking like maybe either Koenji or Nakano. So that's a bit of a walk. It's such a nice day, so I think it's appropriate to make it a long one. It's not shady Shibuya, it's just kind of not the Shibuya that everybody always goes to, but a slightly different side. Lots of nice bars and restaurants and cafes around here. I actually just had lunch at a little izakaya down there, which served me a very delicious kaisen don, which is like seafood bowl. An entire lunch for 800 yen. I posted a story of the lunch here on YouTube. If you click the logo, the Tokyo Explorer logo, you can see my story. And it was really, really tasty and very, very good value for money. But yeah, and so initially I was planning on starting at the busy part of Shibuya, but I think we've seen that so many times on this channel, so let's skip that and let's start walking immediately to. So first I will head towards Shinjuku, and then from there I will continue even further. But I will take a very different route than what I did last time I walked from Shibuya to Shinjuku. So I think it will be a good one. It will be like I will avoid the busiest parts this time. And I'm sure it's just a matter of time before someone requests a weather check, so let's do that now so we get that over with. Shibuya, 25 degrees, partly cloudy. Tomorrow it will rain. Yesterday it rained all day, so today we have some nice weather. 79% humidity. Yuck. It is pretty sticky, but not horrible. Like it's quite comfortable today. So last time when I walked from Shibuya to Shinjuku, I did like the Harajuku route, right? I went through the busy parts of Harajuku. This time I will walk the west side of Yoyogi Park. So I will come through the neighborhoods of Sangubashi. And I think now we have like Yoyogi Hachiman coming up. So yeah, quite a different route. But I hope you will enjoy it. And since I just had lunch, I will also have a beer at some point today. Maybe more than one if we're doing a long stream today. Oh, thank you, Lemillion and Huggy Bear. Shoe reveal bribe. Okay, I can do a shoe reveal. Here you go. Shoe reveal. Are you happy now? Huggy Bear, thank you so much. Coffee or beer fund. We'll watch the replay heading to bed. Okay, sleep well. Sleep tight. Previous 2 live streams were excellent. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. Hope this one will be even better. Let's do a tall kidding today. Maybe. Them legs. Swedish legs, yes. Indeed. So I'm the kind of person who basically just owns one pair of shoes and wears them until they totally break down. So right now I'm on my Adidas shoes. Before I used to have a pair of Nike, but they fell apart a while ago, and I got these Adidas, what is it now, 2 months ago or so? We'll see how long they last. I do have a few other shoes though, but they're more like hiking boots for like when I need to do a bit more ambitious walks in the mountains or something like that for work. But I'm generally not a shoe person. I see shoes as a boring, necessary object, and that gives me no joy in life. Are those legs insured? I'm afraid they're not. I don't know if I could get them insured here. Not pink shorts. Oh, I am wearing pink shorts. Of course I'm wearing pink shorts. I'm always wearing pink shorts. I have several pair of pink shorts actually. So down here we have one of my long-time favorite bars and coffee shops, which is the Norwegian place Fuglen. I had some friends who were involved with opening that place. They're not involved anymore, but yeah, whenever I pass this area, it always reminds me of them. And it's a very popular place, so I don't really visit there very often these days because, yeah, it's too crowded. We'll see what it looks like today. Fuglen Tokyo, yes, that's correct. Lots of construction work going on here. Takematsu, yeah, you're 5 minutes late. 7 minutes to be precise. But it's okay. Glad you could make it. This is a very nice area. There's lots and lots of nice shops around here on the other streets. And I think it's also one of the more expensive areas in the city. So it doesn't look like it's around here, but if you go up a little bit, a few blocks this way, there's some really fancy houses. Vintage store and dog pet shop, pet accessory shop maybe. Here's also Norwegian design store. Is Ura Shibuya different from Oku Shibuya? Oh, maybe I'm mixing it up. Oku Shibuya, Ura Shibuya. I think it's called Oku Shibuya. This is Oku Shibuya. Did I say Ura? It's Ura Harajuku, but I think most people say, here's Fuglen. But like I said, it's a very popular place, so I don't really visit very often these days. I think these are for preventing bicycles to ride through here at high speeds, and also to stop cars from entering, because this is a pedestrian street. Yeah, here is a little relatively newly opened coffee shop, I think. I passed this at a stream a long time, or like a few months ago. Never been though, but it looks kind of interesting. But it's a little bit too soon to grab a coffee now, so I think I will pass for now. Wow, already almost 300 people. Sugoi ne. And the chat is very active as always, so it's difficult for me to keep up with everything. So I apologize for that. So basically over there you see that's the NHK building. So this is Yoyogi Park. Wait, if we go down one block here, I can show you Yoyogi Park. So we're walking like next to or alongside Yoyogi Park. And for a while I was thinking maybe I should go through the park, but I think it's maybe more interesting to walk on these smaller side streets. Or what do you say? So here's Yoyogi Park over there. Yoyogi Park is like one of the bigger parks in central Tokyo. Yeah, very pricey. Nah. Especially this area, like over here, it's called Shoto, and it's very, very, very expensive. I think previous Prime Minister Abe, his house is somewhere around there. Yeah, pedestrian bridge. I'm feeling lazy today, so I will take this route. Welcome Lemillion. Thank you for joining the channel. Thank you so much. Now you also get that fancy little logo next to your username in the chats. Are there lots of Norwegians in Japan? No, I don't think so. Relatively few, but they're pretty good at marketing themselves actually. I feel that Norway is doing a pretty good job on marketing here in Japan. Maybe it's indirect, but through places like Fuglen, which became like really popular, as well as a few other shops. Yeah, that's right. They're building a vaccination site at Yoyogi, which is kind of weird, but so they were planning on building this like live viewing site where people could like watch the Olympics on like big screens and whatnot, but then because of the pandemic it became like a big outrage against it, and like why are they spending tons of money on doing that when people aren't supposed to go outside and rhythm and books. I think I've been there. So they got lots of complaints, and a few days ago they announced that okay, we're not doing this live viewing site, instead we're building a vaccination site, which is a bit weird. Like, do they really need another vaccination site, and does it have to be in the middle of Yoyogi Park? But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I guess they couldn't cancel this live viewing site altogether, so they had to do something else because they already had it contracted or whatnot. So yeah, now we are approaching Yoyogi Hachiman station on the Odakyu line. There's also a stop nearby on the subway, Chiyoda line. Yoyogi Park station is near here as well. Oh, there's also what looks like a nice... No, it's not a coffee shop, it's some restaurant maybe. Wow, I haven't been here in a long time. It looks like there's plenty of new shops that has popped up. I don't know this one either, Camelback. Looks like a coffee shop. I actually used to live around here, like 10-minute walk from here, but that's well over 10 years ago now. But this used to be my local station back then, but it has changed a lot. There's so many new, like, kind of fancy, expensive looking shops that has popped up. The supermarket is the same though. Yeah, the chocolate store, I guess this one, cacao store over there. That's also new. I haven't seen it before. Oh yeah, and I think Tokyo recently got their first rental scooter company. I've seen quite a few people riding around on these here in Tokyo now, which is kind of new. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, here's the Yoyogi-Koen on the subway, Chiyoda line station. So yeah, let's see how these scooters will, if it will work well here in Tokyo, or if they will become something that everybody hates, just like it is in other cities these days. I would guess that it's very strict, like where you can park the scooter and how it's all being managed, because they would quickly go out of business if people just started dumping scooters everywhere. They would get so many complaints immediately. Wow, they even renovated the station. Huh. Haven't been here since the station. Like, it used to be a very small ground level only station, and now they built this big thing. Interesting. When there used to be I think a Danish bakery down here. Let's go. Let's see if it's still around. Yeah, I'm spotting many nostalgic places already on this walk. Actually, I could take a route that will take me through past three other neighborhoods that I've been living in. Maybe I should take that route today. Make it a little walk down the memory lane. So we have to wait here. During rush hour, sometimes you have to wait like for, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. It takes forever until there's a big enough gap so that they can let pedestrians pass. I guess we can walk up here and walk across the tracks. But yeah, let's just wait. The million, no, those things are, as far as I know, very illegal here in Japan. So no, they're not really a thing here. Let's see if it opens up now. It should. Or is there another train coming? Maybe there's one more train coming. I guess it is. Don't even see it yet. Yeah, sometimes you have to wait for a really long time for the lights to change. Norwegian, Danish and no Swedish. Yeah, there's actually, I don't know, there's not that many Swedish cafes. I don't think there's any. There's a few Swedish cafes. There's one. Yeah, there are a few in Tokyo, but not that many. That's the romance car, I think. That train that goes, yeah, here's another one. That's the express train to Hakone. Okay, now I think we can cross. Yes, finally. Thank you. Thank you. Well, sometimes you got off in Sangubashi to walk to a company in Shinjuku. Yeah, Sangubashi, no? It's nice. It's a nice neighborhood. Oh, this is also new. New cafe. And here's the bakery. The Danish bakery is still around. That's good to see. That's good to see that they're still able to afford the rent. But yeah, this place looks brand new as well. Or at least it wasn't here in back in my days. So this street is also quite nice. We can walk down here to Yoyogi Uehara Station, which is also a very nice neighborhood. So I think I will do that. At least a few blocks. I haven't been to this part of town in a very long time. This old building is still standing. That's good to see. I've taken so many photos of this building throughout the years. I'm a sucker for old, about to fall apart buildings like this one. Ah, new member. Thank you. Thank you, Rishing Two Turned. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for joining the channel. Do you prefer to turn the camera yourself or use the buttons on the gimbal? I mostly just turn my hand. I almost never use the buttons on the gimbal. Then at some point I will turn right. Let's see. Because these back streets around here are also very nice. Yeah, I think I actually want to go up here. I see some tempting stairs over there, so I think I want to try it. Not sure if I know this place. But yeah, I think I want to try walking up here and see where that will take us. Hopefully it's not a dead end. Looks like a park or temple. Yeah, exactly. That's what kind of tempted me. But no, I think they just lead up to someone's house. So we can't pass through here. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So we have to turn around. Yeah, this part of Tokyo is... I really enjoyed living around here. I miss it. It's like, you know, walking distance from Shibuya. Like 15 minutes walk from here and you will be at Shibuya Crossing, which is pretty awesome. So very convenient, very central, but still full of like its own atmosphere and vibe, and lots of nice shops and restaurants, and train connections are good as well. So very good place to live. But expensive. Fancy clothes shop here. Welcome, Aben Lemtour. Thank you. Lots of people joining today. I'm surprised to see that. I very much appreciate it. It's great that you're joining the channel, especially if you're planning to be active in the chat and you want to show the world that you are supporting me. Then that's a great thing. So thank you. And also, if you really want to support me, I recommend that you consider joining me on Patreon, because that way you will get access to Patreon only live streams, as well as some other perks as well. So the link to my Patreon is in the video description. And I pretty much promised one of my viewers that I will do a beer tasting Patreon only live stream sometime soon. So yeah, if you think that would be fun, then consider joining me for that one. And on my Patreon only streams, let's go up here. This looks interesting. On my Patreon only streams, you also get to see my face. Whether or not that's worth paying for, I don't know. Probably not. But anyway, that's also a little perk. You should also live stream in evening. I'm sorry, but have you actually looked at my channel? Like, half of my live streams are at night. So I find it kind of funny. I so often get comments like that. You should take a video in this and this location. And it's like, okay, but I've done that 10 times already. Did you actually bother searching my channel? Are you a reporter? Sometimes I work as a reporter, yes. On TV, on radio, and in writing. But my main job is photography. That's Shinjuku over there, the high-rise buildings that you can see. That's the Park Hyatt and the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. So we are heading that way. Seeing your bright and shining face is well worth it. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Have you experienced racism in Japan? Yes. I think any non-Japanese person who ever has tried to rent an apartment in this country have experienced racism or xenophobia, which is very unfortunate. But other than that, it's not so much, to be honest. It's a good place to live, Japan, but I wish that there were a bit more strict rules against discrimination based on someone's passport and nationality. How much do I need to make annual to live in Japan? Oh, that's also a question that I get almost every stream, and it really depends on your lifestyle, which is my standard reply. Like, do you need like a centrally located 70 square meter apartment and a garage, or are you fine with living on 15 square meters in a flimsy wooden building with walls so thin that you can hear your neighbor fart. Like, that makes a huge difference. And also the location. Are you fine with living an hour outside of the city, or do you need to have walking distance to Shibuya crossing? Do you cook at home? Do you eat out a lot? So it really depends. But I would say that compared to many other major cities, such as New York, London, Paris, I think you can get by on less here in Tokyo. It doesn't have to be that expensive if you are okay with living a pretty modest lifestyle. So yeah. And there's countless of articles online that kind of breaks down how much it costs to live in Tokyo. So I would say that you can easily find that information. But you know, when I was a student here, I was living on about 150,000 yen per month, which is about $1,500. That was like enough for me to survive. It wasn't a glamorous life, but yeah. And now I would say my fixed monthly expenses are maybe about twice that amount. So still, I think, relatively reasonable, maybe? I don't know. Do you prefer to live in Tokyo or any other city in the world? I guess I prefer to live in Tokyo, otherwise I wouldn't live here. But as those of you who has followed my channel for a while knows, me and my family is considering to move back to Scandinavia in the mid-term future, mostly because we think Tokyo is not the ideal place to raise a child. So yeah. $1,500. Yeah, that's about what I was surviving on when I was a student. So if that's a lot or if that's cheap, it really depends on where you're from and what standards you have, I guess. Like, to someone used to life in New York, I think it sounds quite cheap. But if you're like living in, I don't know, Thailand or India, maybe it's a pretty crazy amount. Website you recommend to find affordable apartments? I don't know these days because I haven't looked for an apartment in a long time, so I don't know which is good these days, so I'm sorry. But Airbnb would probably be very expensive if you're looking at it for like a long-term stay. Airbnb is more like maybe if you're staying for a week or two, but if you're moving here, then you probably need to go with a more like long-term contract, is my guess. So let's see, what else are you saying? Here, walking along this big road. What will you miss about Japan? A lot of things. The food, the safety, the peace and quiet that you can often find even though you're in the middle of Tokyo, and of course the abundance of things to see and do and having all the kind of shopping you would ever need a short trip away. So things like that I will definitely miss when I move away from here. But especially I think the biggest deal might actually be the safety. The fact that I can walk around like this, shooting these videos even in the middle of the night without having to worry about someone will come and steal my iPhone or my wallet. That's a luxury that I think few other mega cities can offer. That was indeed a helicopter just now. I really don't know where I am now. Let's see what we have up here. Looks like it could be a park or some sort of like school or something. Let's see. What is this? It's a park, but maybe is this a school maybe? Not sure. I will check this place on Google Maps. It's weird, I lived not too far from here, but I don't think I've ever been here. What is this? Sogo Care. Okay, it's a care home. Huh, interesting. Yes, helicopter again. When you're landing in Japan, what's your first impression? Do you feel like a prison? No, definitely not. Why would it feel like a prison? The first time I landed in Tokyo, I was full of excitement, and despite having been on a plane for I think about 20 hours, I was like so excited and so curious about everything. So I was full of energy, and the first thing I did was, like, after riding the bus to the city center from Narita Airport, was like to go on a long walk in my neighborhood. I just dropped my bags in the room that I had rented, and went on a long walk in the neighborhood. So yeah, it was super exciting. This is really interesting because I used to live in this neighborhood. This neighborhood is called Nishihara. That's what it says here on the pole, and I used to have a Nishihara address for a short time, also about 10 years ago. But this place feels very unfamiliar to me. I don't think I've ever passed through here. That's Shinjuku down there. So I think I won't actually pass through Shinjuku, because if I'm heading towards Nakano, it would be quite a detour to go down to Shinjuku. I don't think you've ever informed us why you think Tokyo would be inadequate for raising a child. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it. But basically, several reasons. First is that Tokyo is too urban for me. I grew up in a small town in Sweden. If I walked like 20 minutes in one direction, I would be in the middle of the forest. Even though there's plenty of green spaces in Tokyo, but it's still also extremely, extremely urban. So I don't feel that that's a good environment to grow up in. I think since I grew up in nature, I kind of want my daughter to have a similar environment. So that's one reason. Another one is that it's very expensive to raise a child here in Japan compared to in Scandinavia, where it's essentially free. Like all the education is free. You pay a little bit for kindergarten, but kindergarten in Sweden would be like about $150 a month maybe, whereas here in Japan, in Tokyo, it would be more like 800. So quite a big price difference. And also most of the kindergartens that I've seen here in Japan, they're extremely small. Sometimes they don't even have like any garden or green space for the kids to be out in. They're often located next to big roads and things like that. So that's a pretty big reason for me. And then also I want to have the rest of my family, my Swedish family, nearby, so that they can help us out, me and my wife. And then also the Japanese school system is... My impression of the Japanese school system is that it's not really that good at turning people into independent, critically thinking, analytical human beings. It's more focused on turning you into a good worker who is good at obeying your rules. Yeah, I'm not so fond of that mentality either. So yeah, I hope that was a decent explanation as a rough overview. I mean, some of these problems could be solved by us moving to a smaller city in Japan, which is actually something that we've also talked about and considered. But then we would have to start everything from scratch again. And yeah, I don't know, just living... If we're gonna start from scratch again, then both me and my wife feel that we would rather do that in Scandinavia than somewhere else in Japan. Will you speak Japanese, English and Swedish to your daughter? Yes, that's what we're doing. I speak Swedish to her, my wife speaks Japanese, and most of the communication between me and my wife is in English, so she will hopefully pick up some of that as well. Are you walking towards Shibuya Stream? No, not at all. I'm walking away from Shibuya. I started today's walk in Shibuya, but now I'm walking... Actually, I think what I'm walking on right now might be the Tamagawa Josui, which is what I'm doing a different series about. But yeah, now I'm walking on this covered riverbed, and I'm heading towards the northwest. My goal for this walk will be either Koenji or Nakano. I haven't decided yet. Which would you rather retire in? I think I want to retire in Italy. I don't think... Sweden, I think, is too cold to live when I get old. Japan might be good. Japan has lots of really nice smaller cities that would probably be quite good for retiring. So I would consider that. But yeah, I think my dream since I was a child has been to retire in Italy. Yeah, when it's questions that you can easily find the answer to by searching on Google, please consider doing that. When the answer is more like generic anyway. I think we're approaching beer time actually. It's been 45 minutes of walking already. So I think I will grab a beer here and then go down and sit somewhere on this green path and do a little beer break. Again, please folks, read the FAQ in the video description before asking questions. There's a lot of questions coming today that I answer there, so please. Let's do Japan's oldest brand. The beer selection here is not so exciting, so... Oh wait! Nah... Yeah, I will go with this one. Ah, ないです。追加でお願いします。あ、大丈夫です。No sad conveni. No, I had lunch just before this stream, so no need for a sad conveni lunch today. I had a very nice seafood izakaya lunch, which was surprisingly delicious and extremely good value for only 800 yen. I posted a story on YouTube showing off my lunch. Perfect. I will sit here and drink my beer. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. よく見ましたね、スイカの残高。そうですね、1万でチャージしたばっかりから今結構。Pop, pop, pop, pop. Gimbal almost fell over there. That's not good. Let's see. Can you not pay with your phone in Japan? You can have Suica in your phone, which I do have in one of my phones as well. Then you can pay with your phone. Kanpai. Kanpai, kanpai. Let's see how many viewers we lose during today's beer break. Thank you, Jenny, for the beer money, and thank you, Wilson Young, for the beer money for my retirement fund. Thank you, thank you. So sorry, I'm very far behind in the chat. So let's see, what are you saying now? Alcohol percentage, of course. Always want to know the alcohol percentage of my beers. Let's see, where do we have it? Where do we have the alcohol percentage of this one? It's usually around here. Ah, there we go. 5%. Can you see? Do the hairy leg reveal. Okay, I will sit in this cross-legged. It's extremely uncomfortable to sit like this, but if it's keeping my viewers around, then maybe it's worth it. Let's see. No, it's too uncomfortable to sit like this. Sorry. How much do people usually keep on their Suica? I don't know. I think it's very individual. I usually charge with 10,000 yen at a time. Mostly to keep it easier and not get so many receipts. Since I do my bookkeeping myself, it's easier to have as few receipts as possible. Where do you work? I work for myself. I'm a self-employed photographer, and I guess I could also put YouTube creator on my business card now. Craft beer culture picking up at all? Oh yeah, sure it is. It is. There's lots of craft beer bars all over Japan, and some domestic brands as well. But still, unfortunately, most convenience stores only sell the really boring standard beers, you know, Asahi, Sapporo, so on. Yeah, we have lots of funds now. Yeah, camera fund, third arm fund, retirement fund, supercar fund. How much time does it take to be able to hold a conversation in Japanese? I would say at least 1 year of full-time studies to be able to have a meaningful conversation. That's the bare minimum, I would say. Yeah, not farmer legs. I'm no farmer. Sorry. I'm a professional walker. Brand of the pink shorts? Probably Uniqlo or H&M. Not sure which one. And you claim the beer break as a business expense? No, I don't think I've ever tried that yet. I'm not sure if I will do that. Until when do you think you will do YouTube? I don't know. I've been doing YouTube pretty much for a year now, quite actively, and I really enjoy it. So if anything, I think I will maybe step up my game and try to be full-time YouTuber within a year or two. To make YouTube my main would be quite nice. But then I would have to put a little bit more effort into my channel, not just doing these random walks. We'll see, that might happen. Also, I think it's a lot of pasta or noodles over there. Looks kind of gross. 200,000 yen on a Suica seems... I would not be comfortable putting that much money onto my Suica. Now you guys have me curious about Japanese income tax rate. It's a bit complicated, so Google it, I would say. But it's not as low as most people think. Or well, income tax is low, relatively speaking, compared to Sweden. But then you also have to pay your pension, your municipal tax, and your health insurance. And all those things put together, I don't really think that taxes are much lower here than in Sweden. But we get way more for our tax money in Sweden. How much yen do you usually spend on your walks? I don't know. Like a train ticket and a beer, usually. So, depends, maybe between, on average, between $5 to $15, I would say. Do all Japanese people really watch manga, read anime, such as the rest of us? Probably not. I mean, some people like anime and manga, but a lot of people are as uninterested in anime and manga as I am, so yeah. ever left something on the train but managed to get it back? Yeah. One time I forgot my bag containing my wallet, my camera, my laptop, all the good stuff. I forgot that. It was a busy train ride home. It was when I was living in Nakano, and it was a really packed train, and I was, as usual, scrolling on my smartphone while riding the train, and I got an email that made me very stressed for some reason. I don't remember exactly what it was, but and I got a little bit stressed and agitated, and I think I was writing a reply, and then suddenly I noticed that, oh, it's Nakano, so I have to get off. So I jumped off the train, and just as I saw the doors of the train closing, I realized that, damn, I forgot my bag on the shelf. So I immediately went to the station staff, and I told them what had happened, and they asked me which car was I riding, and I didn't take note of the number of the car, so I was like, I think it was roughly in the middle of the train or something like that. So he called a few stations down, got some people there to check the train while it was stopped, but they only stopped for like half a minute at each station, so obviously very short time to look for a bag, and they couldn't find it. So in the end I had to go, and this was in the evening. I think this was like 7 or 8 in the evening, and in the end I had to go all the way to the last station, which was Takao, which is about an hour from Nakano. I had to go there, and my bag was there, because that's the last last stop of the train. So obviously if there's any left behind luggage, the staff will take care of it then. So my bag was still there once we got to Takao. So I got it back, fortunately. But yeah, it was a very long day, and then having to do that ride at the end of it all was very stressful. But I was so relieved and happy when I finally got my bag back. Thank you, Fungus USMC. Thank you so much. I know what special fermented foods you're talking about. Do you do night walk? Do you ever check a channel before asking a question? If you would check the channel, you would see that I did a night walk 2 nights ago, and I do them almost several times every week. I go on night walks, so yes. How often do you walk Tokyo streets? Again, check my channel and you will see the answer. Sorry if I'm sounding salty, but I'm just very tired of people who are unable to do super basic fundamental research. So, let's see. Did you then have a relaxing ride at Mount Taka? No. I got there at like 9 in the night and it was dark, and I think this was in the winter. I don't really remember. Autumn or winter, I think. So yeah. And also one time I had been out drinking in Shibuya until early morning. This is like maybe 7-8 years ago. And I had been taking photos with my big Nikon D800 and an expensive lens. I think I was carrying around maybe $5,000 worth of camera gear. And after the night out, me and some friends went for ramen before taking the train back home in the morning. And so usually when you eat ramen, they have a little shelf under so if you sit at the counter, there's a little shelf under the counter where you can leave your luggage. So I put my camera there, and of course I forgot it. I went back home. I was still drunk by the time I got home, so I fell asleep. Then when I woke up in the evening the next day, I was like having a really bad hangover, and for some reason the first thought in my head was like, oh, I forgot my camera. And that's quite often whenever I mean, I don't do this very often these days, but when I was younger, I often went out drinking and I often had my camera with me. And my first thought whenever I woke up really with a bad hangover was like, shit, did I forget my camera somewhere? And that time it was true, I had forgotten the camera. But I went back to the ramen shop and it was there. It was there. Someone had found it and gave it to the staff. So that's like only in Japan kind of experience. I don't think that would have happened anywhere else. So yeah. Okay, let's finish the beer and get going. We already lost 100 viewers on my boring stories and this beer break with a view of pigeons and some leftover pasta or somen maybe. You smoke? No. Sometimes when I was younger, sometimes when I was drunk, I smoked. Are you using a mask? Not right now because I'm drinking a beer, but always when I'm outside and I'm not eating or drinking something, I'm always wearing a mask. Yes. Thank you, Ross Johnson, for the kind words. What do you think about the new YouTube policy of placing ads on all videos regardless of creators not signed up with YouTube partner program? I think it's fine. I mean, first of all, this only affects small YouTubers, right? It only affects those who are not running a monetized channel. And basically running a service like YouTube with all the server capacity and all the network traffic costs a fortune. So I think it's fair that Google is doing something to get some value even from those very small channels. So I don't find it offensive at all, to be honest. No. I kind of wish maybe that there was a way that you could, as a creator, that you could pay instead of having ads on top of it, because for some people maybe they really don't want ads on their videos, but then again they should they can't expect to have a free service and no ads. There's always, you have to pay in some way for things like that. So if you want to post videos online and you don't want ads, maybe set up your own server and realize how much that will cost you. So yeah, I don't find it problematic that YouTube put ads on those channels now. Would you rather takoyaki or okonomiyaki? I'm not a big fan of either, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of either, but if I had to choose, maybe takoyaki. What's with the romantic subway train? The romance car. I don't really know. I think the name romance car is because it's been around for a very long time, and it goes between Shinjuku and Hakone, right? Hakone is this famous onsen resort in the outskirts, just outside of Tokyo, basically 1 hour outside of Tokyo. So a lot of people went there on go there on romantic getaways with their partner or lover or whoever. So I think that's the name. That is like, the train you take for a romantic getaway to Hakone. And also the seats are like 2 and 2. So compared to the regular trains in Japan where you sit like facing each other, right? But on the romance car you have this like a little bit more privacy, so you can be all nice and cuddly with each other without having it look too awkward to the rest of the passengers. So maybe that's also why, but that's the story behind the name as far as I know, but I'm probably wrong, so make sure to Google it to get the real answer. Yeah, I really recommend everyone who watches YouTube to just get YouTube Premium if you can afford it. It's, I don't know, I've been using it for I don't know how many years now, since it was launched, I think, and back when it was called YouTube Red, and I would never go back to YouTube with ads. It's just such a pain, and I have lots of ads on my videos as well. I think it's fair. I think it's fair that you know, nothing is free in this world, and either, like, you know, pay $10 and have a great experience if you watch a lot of YouTube, don't have to worry about the ads, or if you think that's too expensive, yeah, then live with, you know, watching an ad every 15 minutes or 10 minutes. It's I don't know. Okay, let's finish the beer. And let's get going. So now we are actually at what's the name of this station again? I used to live near here and I don't even remember the name of the station. Is it Hatagaya? Maybe. I think it's Hatagaya Station. So I used to live near here for a short time, and then I moved one stop further down the train line, which is Sasazuka, which is a very nice neighborhood. I really enjoyed living there as well. So actually a lot of my time in Japan I've been living around this part, like west of Shinjuku, and it's been very nice. Now I live in the south of the city, which is also nice but in a different way, and sometimes I do really miss living around here. Yeah, this is Hatagaya Station. Here you go, Keio Hatagaya Station. So this is like 2 stops from Shinjuku. Yeah, 2 stops from Shinjuku Station. So it was very easy to get into central Tokyo. God morgon, Mikael Eideholm, my dear mega supporter. Thank you for joining today. Oh, had an ant climbing on my arm. So this is like the one of the main roads leading to the west from central Tokyo. I forgot, is this Omekaido? I forgot, but it's one of these main roads. So if you go this way, you will end up in Shinjuku. If you go this way, you will get to like Hachioji and Tachikawa, this direction. But we will head this way towards, I guess, towards Nakano. Yeah, I'm sure that ant climbed up on me while I was drinking my beer. Lots of older residential blocks here. Actually, this area is relatively affordable considering how close it is to Shinjuku and the city center. Koshu-kaido, that's probably right. Yeah, Koshu-kaido is the name of that main road. That's I'm pretty sure you're correct. Oh, thank you, Traveling Toes, testing Super Chat. It seems to work just as it should. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wonder if I have like an ant in my sock as well, because it's like really itchy. Itch. Okay. Yeah, the name Strong Zero is indeed very, very contradictory. Wow. So again, I lived not too far from here, but I don't think I've ever seen this parking before. Interesting. And that's, yeah, as you can see, that's Shinjuku down there. So I think I will head down here. Maybe this was built, there was buildings here before, not sure. Or maybe I've just never passed on this specific street. Thank you, Dragon Master Lee. You love my channel. Thank you. I love my viewers. I think we have a little Shoten guy down here. Let's go down there. Ah, and here, I think this is a Sento. Yeah. Ah, and they have this thing called Scandinavian Sauna. Hokuo Sauna. It says here. Hokuo means Northern Europe, or more specifically Scandinavia. Scandinavian Sauna. Interesting. Yeah. It smells. Ah, it's probably this laundromat that smells. It smells like laundry. Clean laundry. Strong Zero, yeah. It's a dangerous drink. That's all I can say. I used to have it quite often when I was younger and more adventurous. These days, it's not happening very often. I don't feel as adventurous anymore. Here's the little Shoten guy that I talked about. That's one of the things I love about Tokyo, is that basically every little neighborhood, every little station has its own little super local shopping district, shopping street. Like this. There's hardly any station in the greater Tokyo region that doesn't have like at least something that resembles this kind of shopping street. I really like that. And the fact that that's kind of helps build a local community. Like in Sweden, like maybe there's like one shopping district in the entire city, if it's a smaller city anyway. And often you just have to like drive somewhere in the outskirts to go to a mall to do some shopping. Dåraktig. Are you Swedish? Yes. Jag är väldigt svensk. Du också, antar jag. Med ett sånt användarnamn så borde du vara svensk. Again, Shinjuku down here. This street is also quite nice to walk, actually. It's yeah, maybe we should follow it for a while, because I like that it's so many of these old danchi, like these old residential buildings. This area has lots of them, and I'm always a big fan of those. Thank you, Russ Johnson. Thank you for joining the channel. So many new members today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But again, like, if you really want to support me, the best way is to join my Patreon. That way you will also get access to some special Patreon-only streams. So the link to my Patreon is in the video description. But by all means, join me here on YouTube as well, because then you get this cool little badge next to your name in the chat. So that's a good way to show the world that you support me or something. And for those of you who wonders why Patreon, why not stick with YouTube memberships, it's simply because YouTube memberships, then basically you're paying a third of the money or no, more. Maybe more. I don't remember. I keep forgetting how much it is. Is it 30 or 40%? Something like that, to Google. Which is fine. I mean, like I said before, they need to keep their business going. But yeah, if you're supporting on Patreon, then a larger share, slightly larger. The difference isn't huge, but slightly larger share goes directly into the creators' pockets. So obviously I'm not just talking for myself now, but to all YouTube creators, if you want to support them, joining them on Patreon or like supporting them through their whatever other channels they might have, is usually better than using the YouTube super chat and those kind of things. Kanske showaの雰囲気。そうですね。それがすごいまあ好きです。住みたくないけどその雰囲気が好きです。It's 30% on YouTube. I think on Patreon, like everything put together, it's like 15 to 20% that disappears in fees. The Patreon fees aren't horrible, but then there's like also on top of that it's the PayPal fee, which is kind of a pain, but you can only get your payouts to PayPal in Japan, and then there's like an additional 3 or 4% fee from PayPal, I think. So yeah, lots of like small fees that adds up. Just join both and be a stalker like me. Yeah, that's a really good advice. You should all follow Mikael Eideholm's advice on that one. He is my most generous supporter, and for that I am eternally grateful. Tack så jättemycket, Mikael. It really means a lot. If I had like just I don't know, 10-15 people like him, it would mean that I could do this full-time, which would be very nice. Old school here. Wait, I think I want to head down this way actually. Ideally without getting hit by a car. Oh, okay, I can't walk this way. Then I have to walk this way. You have iron legs. I don't know if that's true, but I like walking. But that's basically the only exercise I do, so maybe down this way. Let's see. I have no idea where we are now, but I do have kind of a sense of the direction we're heading, and we are supposed to head this way. Nice old vegetable shops here. I always love these super local little supermarkets that feels like they're from a different era, and they are. Maybe from the Showa era. Why not link your PayPal then? Yeah, I guess I could do that as well. I guess I could do that. Nico the Nobleman, I want to study abroad in Tokyo for a year. Yeah, just do it. It's something I would highly recommend. If you have the means, by all means, do it. There's some YouTubers that use this coffee app. Yeah, Coffee, right? I haven't really looked into it, but I noticed that it's getting more and more popular. I don't know if there are any benefits to Patreon if you compare those two, but considering that I already have a Patreon, I will probably stick with Patreon. It would be such a hassle to switch, and I don't want to use too many different services. Nico, you forgot that this is live. Yes, you do need a visa for Japan if you want to stay longer than 3 months. So if you want to study here. But if you're going to study in Japan, you will most likely be able to get a student visa. So it's not so complicated to get a visa for Japan. As long as you have like a legitimate reason to be here, such as work or study. The whole visa process is relatively easy and smooth from my experience. Any more thoughts of using Discord? Yeah, I'm leaning more and more towards setting up a Patreon-only Discord. It would be nice as a service to my most loyal followers and a way for me to stay connected with my most loyal viewers and supporters. So I'm considering doing it for that. I won't do a public one or like for everyone, because that would just mean that it has to be moderated, and I'm such a control freak that I wouldn't feel comfortable knowing that there's like a server running 24/7 without having to check it. Like I would feel the pressure to always stay up to date and check it, and if it's public, then I think it would end up being quite active. So yeah, But I do want a way to stay in touch more easier with my Patreon supporters. So I am seriously considering a Patreon-only Discord. Yeah, Patreon and Discord has this. You can link them, so that's great. I'm just such a sucker for these like old tobacco shops that are like barely in operation anymore, that has been like mostly replaced by vending machines, but it's still kind of there, and maybe once in a week there's like some old man or woman sitting there selling cigarettes. So yeah, for those who don't know what a Discord is, it's basically like this chat that you have here while I'm streaming. It's kind of like that, but open all the time. Can you tell who are Patreon supporters in this chat? No, I know most of them, but not all of them. I mean, some of them, like my long-time supporters, I have a pretty good grasp of who's on Patreon and who isn't. But there's also a lot of people who do support me on Patreon and you know, are members, but they may not be so active in the chat. A lot of people tell me that, you know, yeah, I support you here, but I'm not actually active in the chat. I prefer to just watch your videos. So to all of you as well, a big thank you. That's of course totally fine as well. Like I just enjoy the fact that you enjoy watching. Then if you're active or not in the chat, that's totally up to you. There's always an interesting discussion going on in the chat anyway, so yeah, the more the merrier, but at the same time, no pressure. God morgon Elisabeth. God morgon, god morgon. Kul att du kunde titta förbi. So again, let's walk one block away from this busy street. Oh, maybe here we have a little Shoten guy. I'm not sure if I've ever been here. I don't think I've ever been. So let's explore a little bit. Where are we now? Toei Minamidai Nichome Apato. Also, I'm really sorry, but I'm only like checking the chat briefly every now and then, because there's so much messages going on right now, so I can't really keep up to date with everything that you're saying, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've never walked on this street before either. Wonder where we are. What's the nearest station? Minamidai. There's no station called Minamidai, that's for sure. Very, very local, typical old Tokyo neighborhood. Should I get a dango? Let's get a dango. Konnichiwa. Hi.
2つでいいですか？
はい、2つでいいです。
580円です。
はい。
はい、いらっしゃい。ちょっと待ってね。
はいはい。
じゃあ600円で。
はい。入れますか？
はい、これな。いっぱい入ってるよ。あ、入ってる。
600円。
じゃあ、ブラそのままもらって。ここのとこ。
はい、20円のお釣り。スタンプ。スタンプいりますか？つかないの。スタンプはつかない。安くなってるから。
はい、どうもありがとう。
どうぞ。
はい、すみません。海苔団子1本でお願いします。はい。
今食べます
はい。今すぐ食べます。
最近お金もらう。
70円です。
はい。はい。
はい、100円お預かりします。
はい。
30円のお返しです。
はい。ありがとうございます。あ、レ
あ
シートいらないです。
あ
はい。あり
すいません
がとうございます。
りがとうございます。
So I got a nori dango. Dango is this like rice cake. Yeah, 70 yen. It's super cheap. It's like, yeah, less than $1. It's a very kind of traditional Japanese snack. This one has seaweed and a bit of soy sauce, I think, on top. Quite nice. It's a nice snack. Already finished half.そうですね。東京の家賃以外はそんなに高くないですね。なんかもしちょっと安い街に行ったら、東京都内の中ですけど、ちょっと安い街、例えばこの辺はそんなに高くないですね。もちろん家賃はどこでも多分ちょっと高いけどね、弁当とか団子とかは結構安く見つけられる。 Okay, thank you Joy for stopping by today. Can you hear me chewing? I know that the mics on this phone picks up the sound very well. How long have you been live? I've been live for 1 hour and 34 minutes as of right now. So I think, so I'm heading towards, still haven't made up my mind if I'm gonna go to Nakano or Koenji. If you have any preference, let me know. But I think I will make one of those my end goal for today. Here we have another one of these small local tobacco shop, and now a reflection reveal as well. These are funny. We don't see these very often, but there's actually condom vending machines every now and then. So High Ace or Lovelin Soft or Are, that's a weird name, Are. Choose your weapon, but choose wisely. Yeah, condom vending machines. They're not common, but we do stumble across them every once in a while. And indeed, happy family life. That's such like the perfect thing to put on a condom vending machine in Japan. Like it's the most genius slogan ever. I didn't check the price. Maybe someone can rewind the video and check how much they were. So yeah. Oh, okay, so we're actually in Nakano now. Nakano-ku. I think is it called Minamidai? It's not Nandai, right? I think Minamidai. But I'm not super familiar with this area. 500 yen, okay. So $5. Don't know how many, I think it was small package. Do you go live every day? Almost, yeah, almost every day. I try to post basically every day, but I keep telling myself that taking one day off every week is fine. So like for example yesterday I didn't publish anything on my channel, but on the other hand I posted 2 videos the day before. So sometimes it's a live stream, but sometimes it's also a pre-recorded walking video. So I do both. But yeah, at least 6 videos a week is my current ambition, since I don't really have that much else in terms of work right now. I'm basically on paternity leave, but I do need to go on walks every now and then to remain sane. So whenever I do, I tend to stream my walks. Will you be live tomorrow? Tomorrow, the forecast currently says that it will rain all day tomorrow. If that's the case, I may not stream. But I mean, I don't want to say no for certain, because if it's not heavy rain, I might just go on a little like local area rainy night walk. Those can be quite nice. So I might do something like that if I have time and the rain isn't too annoying. So it was Minamidai. Thank you, Taira Uchida. Are there any age check on tobacco vending machines? Yes, there are. You need to swipe your driver's license. And if you don't have a driver's license, you can apply for a card called TASPO, which is kind of like I think you have to mail in some sort of ID verification so that they can see that you are over the required age. And then when you have that card, you can use those tobacco vending machines. It's a bit gloomy right now. The weather is kind of changing between cloudy and sunny, but it's pretty nice walking weather. I can tell you that. Someone asked me to go to busier areas. So basically I'm kind of trying to avoid the really busy parts of Tokyo right now because of the pandemic and the state of emergency. So as long as the situation is like it is, I mean I do occasionally pass through Shibuya and whatnot, but generally I try to avoid the most busy parts. Yeah, you still probably ought to make me an umbrella bracket. Yes, Olive, that would be nice. I could do with one. It would be quite useful. I think this is a train depot around here. Yep, it is. It's getting dark. No, not really. I mean, it's still just middle of the afternoon over here. Maybe it looks a little bit darker, but it's just, yeah, it's just the weather. Om jag vill skicka ett litet bidrag som tack för promenaden, hur skickar jag? Hittar ingen info. Du bör ha en liten ikon. Det beror på om du tittar på en dator eller om du tittar i din telefon. Men du bör ha en liten ikon någonstans där du kan göra något som heter super chat eller super sticker. Det är en liten donation. Eller så kan du gå in på min Patreon och bli medlem där. Då ger man ett litet bidrag varje månad, men då får man lite tillgång till lite specialmaterial. Maybe Ray, can you post the link to my Patreon again? Vi har en kille i chatten som ska lägga in länken dit. Thank you, Ray. So sorry about that. One of my Swedish viewers asked how she could give a contribution. So I explained about Patreon. Thank you. There we go. So du ser länken där. Ray har lagt in en länk till Patreon. Så där kan du klicka och bli medlem. Då ger du, det är jättebra support till mig och den här kanalen. Kinnikuman は多分海外で有名じゃないと思いますね。僕は日本に来た前に筋肉マン見たことない。Great, Jari. You understood our Swedish conversation. Good job. Very, very quiet residential neighborhood this. I don't even know where I am now. I mean, I kind of know, but not exactly know. Are we still in Minamidai? Maybe we are. No, we are in Nakanoku. I can't read this. これは読めないね、この漢字。I can't read the name of this place, which happens quite often in Japan. Place names are difficult. I'm still in Nakanoku, but then the more like name of the more local area. Nakano is like the entire borough, kind of similar like Bronx or Queens in New York. But then the block also has a name, which is this Yayoicho. Yayoicho ka. I see. Someone in the chat says that it's called Yayoicho. I could not read that kanji. なるほど。ありがとうございます。それ、弥生県と一緒ですか？漢字はなんか定食屋さんの弥生県、なんかチェーンのお店ですけど。Not yaoi, yayoi. It's a very big difference. It's a very big difference. You filthy people. This really feels like a, I don't know, a pretty anonymous neighborhood to me. It's a little bit mixed, like industrial and residential. Not super nice, if you ask me. Ah, but okay, now I know this river. I think this is Kanda River, isn't it? This river runs a long way. And some areas along... Yes, it's Kanda River. It says here, Kanda River. Some parts of this river are quite nice, actually. You can get some very nice views of Shinjuku if you go a little bit further downstream. And sure, dear viewers, you can look at all the yaoi you want. I won't judge. I won't judge. Airplane. Since I know that there's always a lot of plane spotters among my viewers, maybe someone can tell me which line where this plane is coming from. I'm pretty sure it's heading to Haneda, but where does it come from? Oh, okay, now we're in Wada. Wada is an area I know, because I used to live in Wada as well. It feels like this walk we pass through so many areas that I used to live in. Hittar ingen betalsymbol. Såg du länken som Ray la in för en liten stund sedan? Om du scrollar upp en bit i chatten så borde du hitta den. Det finns en länk till något som heter Patreon. Om du klickar där så kan du så är det nog lite lättare att hitta hur man går tillväga. Men om du inte hittar så inga problem, du behöver inte leta efter det. Jag uppskattar nog att du är här och tittar, det räcker gott. Oh yes, I think this is... Now I know where I am, yeah. This is very close to where I used to live. This is the Wada shopping street. I think we came here not too long ago. I walked from Nakano to here. And I think someone of my viewers, you wanted me to show you where I used to live. So, and we found this house, that my old house has been demolished quite recently. It was, I think it's still on Google Maps, but in reality it's been torn down. So yeah, I think that time we did come here. Only a couple of weeks back. Yes, that's right. Quite recently. But yeah, this neighborhood is also very, very quiet residential neighborhood. I kind of enjoyed living here too. It also had that very down-to-earth local feeling, but still we're like less than 10 minutes away from Shinjuku on the train. The sky is looking more and more suspicious. Looks like it could maybe start raining at some point, even though forecast says it won't. Your old house is still on street view. Yeah, my old house. Well, it's good that they took it down. It was a really bad house. One of the crappiest places I've lived in Tokyo, actually. I mean, I like the area, but the house was pretty awful. It was like, I was living there in the winter and the spring, and in the winter there was basically, it was as cold inside as it was outside, and there was like big holes in the wall with wind blowing through, so you could never make it warm and comfortable. And then in the spring I started to have snails in my shower room. Not just one snail every once in a while, but like tons of them. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that I don't live there anymore. Oh, this looks nice. This looks like a little coffee shop. Should we do a little coffee break here? I think I'll do that. Very safe. I don't know if they were edible snails. Look at this place. Such a nice little coffee shop slash cafe in someone's home, I guess. Super nice. Yeah. So after the beer break we dropped 100 viewers. Now we're back to where we were before the beer break. Now we're doing a coffee break and we will probably lose another 100 viewers again. And then I will end the stream. I won't be going much further after this beer break or coffee break. Where did you go though? Is there like another entrance? No? Huh. Let's see. Yeah, very nice little shop. Ring the bell. That's a good idea. How come I didn't think about that? Also, let me check. I need to have money. Hi, すみません。あ、はいはいはい。どうぞどうぞ。What should I have? Maybe I'll have a matcha latte for a change. I don't get matcha latte very often.はいはいはい、どうぞごゆっくりどうぞ。Yeah, I think that woman runs this place on her own, so probably takes her a while to get everything ready. Ah, right. I think this is like... はい、すみません。いえいえ。抹茶ラテ。
抹茶ラテ、あったかいのしかないんですけど。
はい、あったかいで。はい、はい。
で、こちらでお召し上がり。
いいですか？はい。
わかりました。あ、じゃあ先お会計。
はい、いいですか？すみません。はい。 ありがとうございます。
はい、お酒もらっております。
はい、はい、ありがとうございます。Okay. Fika time. I love how my streams are very much focused on me taking breaks. I'm very good at taking breaks. I'm professional. I'm taking breaks professionally. That's what I do for a living. Stream my breaks. Don't you need cake for fika? That's true. I do need cake for fika. Spend most of your time walking. Yeah, okay. I do spend most of my time walking, but I do also spend a pretty good portion of my streams just sitting down and drinking things. Map check. Okay, let's map. Let's map. So... guess, can you see this? Yeah, we're here, right? The blue dot. So up here you have Nakano Station, and here's Koenji with all the pins. All those pins are for a job I did many years ago. I was shooting like a travel guide, focusing especially on Koenji. So I had a list of places I needed to shoot, so that's why I have so many pins on my Google Maps. So yeah, Higashi-Koenji station over here, and Daitabashi. And so if you want to know where we came from, we started in Shibuya today. So we walked a pretty long way. I don't know if you can see this well, but walked from, oops. Oh, I hate when that happens. So here's Shibuya. Down here. Then I walked past the Yoyogi Park, Yoyogi Hachiman. I also passed Hatagaya, and yeah, now we're here. So we're close to Higashi-Koenji station. There you have it. Man har alltid tid för en fika. Exakt. Won't mind making an umbrella bracket if there's an okay way to send it. Yes. That would be fun to have a viewer-made umbrella bracket. Let's keep in touch outside of the chat. You are on Patreon, right, Olive? Maybe you can send me a message there and I'll be happy to give you my address so you can send it. That would be great. そうですね、エネルギーのために休憩が必要ね。そうですね、僕もちょっと年取ってるだからそんなに元気ないです。Okej, hej då Bitter End. Kul att du tittade förbi. Elisabeth, det kanske inte funkar i Sverige då. Eller så kanske det, jag vet inte varför det inte funkar, men det är okej. Du behöver inte oroa dig för den biten. Hej, hej. ありがとうございます。この店最近できたですか？
いや、 もうね2年ぐらい。
2年あ
でも結構長期で閉めたりとかしてるんで、
あ
すごい暑い時とか
あ
寒い時とかは1ヶ月ぐらい閉めたりする。
ああ、なるほどなるほど、僕なんか8年7年8年ぐらい前この辺住んでたんですけど、そうそうそう、和田のなんか学校があるんですよね。なんか何の学校わかんない、中学校かな。
和田
ちょっと
中学校。
そうですね。
カンナナわかります？
そう、はいはいはい。観音のこっちはいはい。
和田中学校。
はいはい、あの辺に昔住んでた。はいはいはい。
その頃はなかった。
そうですね、そう思った。そうそう。わかりました。いや、素敵なお店ですね。
ありがとうございます。ごゆっくりどうぞ。
はい、ありがとうございます。Now I'm getting my matcha latte in a nice cup, very homemade. So yeah, this place has been around for 2 years, she told me. So it's not super new, but not what I would consider old either. But she said like she opened it 2 years ago, but it's kind of, she closes sometimes, and it's like when it's very hot or very cold, she's not running the shop. I think she's probably just doing it as a kind of hobby. Morning from Europe. Morning. Good afternoon from Tokyo. But I always really enjoy these kind of small shops and small local shops. I don't know if she does this to supplement her income, to be honest. I would imagine that it might. I don't think a place like this generates any meaningful income, to be honest. I find it very unlikely. Like, if she needed to supplement her income, she would probably have many more lucrative ways of doing it, but I think she's just doing it for fun, for the fun of it. That's my guess. This might be my first matcha latte ever on a stream. I'm not a matcha latte kind of guy. This was 400 yen. Yeah, I don't know why I decided to go for a matcha latte today, to be honest. I had 2 coffees already, maybe that's why. I am more of a beer guy. Well, yeah, I probably have more beers more often than coffee on my streams, I guess. They're kind of neck on neck, but maybe beers are a little bit more common. Do you remember the small retro coffee shop card that doesn't accept card? Where was that? There's a lot of those. Like, most places, most small shops like this don't accept cards actually in Japan. You're still like, cash is still the norm here. How's Mini Explorer? She's doing great. She's been in a very good mood recently, and now she's really like, I think she got like a beta version of the walking firmware update. There's still a few more bugs that they need to sort out, but soon I think she will get the proper fully fledged walking firmware upgrade. It's almost there. It's almost there. Do they not have a Japanese equivalent of Square? No. There's like some system developed by Rakuten that some shops use, like small shops, to accept cards. That It's kind of similar to Square, but it's not that widespread, to be honest. Are you going to Koenji after this? I think after this I will probably just walk to Higashi-Koenji Station and end the stream there and take the train back home, because it's been over 2 hours already. And Mini Explorer needs a shirt with the camera icon. Yeah. Yeah, that would be cute. It would be fun to kind of involve the rest of my family somehow in my YouTube endeavors, but I don't know. Basically, to live in Japan, you need to speak Japanese. Yes, it's Japan, so is that? I mean, it's true for most countries, no? Even though many countries you can get by with English, and you can get by with English in Japan too, but you will be kind of limited to certain areas of Tokyo. But it's not really in Japan's interest to become more foreigner friendly, which can be quite frustrating sometimes as a non-Japanese person living here, but it's not like high on the priority list for neither the government nor the population. So it is what it is. And yeah, I don't think I have the right to say that they should change that. I can just move if it doesn't suit me, and I am planning to move, so make of that what you wish. Said you were on maternity break. Well, I'm a father, so I'm on paternity break, but yeah, yes, and my wife is Japanese, yes. This is the nicest framing with the logo. True that Japanese companies don't want to sign permanent contracts with their employees? No, I mean some, but being a permanent employee is still like the norm here, but it's getting more and more uncertain times, and more people are on temporary contracts. I think that's the same everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. Adam Hassan, I don't recommend relocating to Japan if you don't have any interest in learning the language. Then it will probably be mostly a frustrating experience for you. When are you planning? Where are you planning to move to? I am planning to move to somewhere in Scandinavia, probably Sweden. Maybe in a year or two. That's kind of the plan, but who knows? It's not something that's set in stone. It depends on a lot of things. my impression is that in Italy most people don't speak English either. Probably on par with Japan, I would say. Maybe it depends on the region, but I've been a lot to Liguria in the north of Italy, and unless it's people who work in the tourism sector, most people that I've interacted with, they don't speak any English there. Let's get going. Let's get going. I finished my matcha. I almost forgot to put my mask back on. That wouldn't be good. I'll need to mask up. Stay safe. ごちそうさまでした。はい、ありがとうございます。どうもでした。So yeah, people often ask like what will happen to your channel if you move, and I hope I can continue to run my channel. Obviously it would be quite different, but I do think that Sweden, and well, first of all, like being in Europe, you can travel very easily to all over Europe, so that's a huge benefit. Traveling from Japan is a little bit more difficult because everything is so far away, but I also think that there's lots of interesting places in Sweden. I would love to explore Sweden more. I mean, I haven't been to a fraction of as many places in Sweden as I have here in Japan, so it would be great to explore Sweden and a lot of other beautiful countries nearby. But of course, a lot of my current viewers would not be interested in that, and that's fine, but sad, but fine. But on the other hand, I'm guessing that if I would start doing videos from Europe, I would probably reach a new kind of audience that aren't interested in videos from Japan. So probably the net effect will be at least plus minus zero, but ideally it would eventually make my channel grow even more. I would love your channel in Europe. Thank you, David. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And I think that at least a sizable chunk of my viewers also watch this channel thanks to me and my personality. At least I hope so. That some of you enjoy being on walks with me, and that factor would be the same even if I was walking on a fjord in Norway or through the cobblestone streets of the old town in Stockholm, or you know, anywhere. So yeah, we might see soon, because I'm planning to go back to Sweden for a little visit next month. I'm still not sure if it will actually happen, because everything is so much up in the air. But if I go, I would be going there for a couple of weeks, and I would definitely do a few videos and streams from there. So then it will be interesting if as many people would like to join me on walks in a Swedish forest as they do when I'm walking on the streets of Shibuya. Let's go up here. Oh, wait, is this my old street? Is this where I used to live? Maybe it is. Might be. Can I watch your photography piece of work? Yeah, you can check out my Instagram. It's linked in the video description. Thank you. Lots of nice comments people who say that they would keep watching my channel. So, came for Japan, stayed for tea. Thank you. Thank you. That's great to hear. Yes, this is indeed my old street. Let's go down again and check my old house, which isn't standing here anymore. But that used to stand. Dokodakke? Was it this one? Maybe this one. I think this is the one that they built on the place of my old house. This is where I used to battle the snails in the shower. Yeah, pretty sure it was here. Like the shower room was facing this tiny alley. Did you bring an umbrella? No, I did not. Let's see. Maybe I will get wet. So let's see. Yeah, like personally, I feel right now I feel a bit tired of Japan, so I definitely need a break from here. And I would love to, take 6 months and just travel around Europe and stream. That's not going to happen though, because I have a family. But maybe next summer or something I could go on a trip around Europe with them and stream from a bunch of different places. That would be great. Erik Fremred, tjena! Vad roligt att du är här. Det var inte igår. Hoppas allt är bra med dig och din fina familj. Hoppas ni äter mycket korv på Biltema. Helst varje dag. It's always fun when people I know stop by the chat, especially when it's people who haven't seen here before. And that's what just happened. Like one old acquaintance from my hometown just stopped by. Do a Swedish review. Yeah. Well, what's a Swedish review? Review of what? Sorry, I'm a bit behind in the chat now. Are you going to Hachiko Square? No, I'm not going there today. I started this stream in Shibuya, but not at Hachiko. But I tend to pass by there almost every week, so it's probably gonna happen again soon, but not today. Again here at the local little shopping street where there used to be a cute lady selling bentos, but she's not running the shop anymore. I hope she's still alive. So they have like a knitting school in that building. That's interesting. Ah, 盛り上がってる。I think I will head down to the park here next to Higashi-Koenji Station, and then I will probably end the stream because I need to go to the bathroom, and also 2.5 hours. That's a good length for a Saturday stream. Hej då, nu väntar frukosten. Okej, Elisabeth. Kul att du tittade förbi. Jag vet inte om du lyckades med någon kaffesponsring, men det spelar ingen roll. Ha en fin dag. Hej då! Are we near the site of your old house? We just passed it 5 minutes ago. How many kilometers? Good question. Maybe not that many. We walked 12,000 steps today. 12,600 steps. Thank you, Melody Matilda. Glad you enjoyed it. That goes for everybody else as well. There we have another plane inbound. Where does it come from? It looked like it was a JAL plane. So probably a domestic flight. Keep up all the walking, you will lose your dad bod. I wish, but it's hopeless. It's hopeless. I mean, I do walk quite a lot, but my belly is never getting even an inch smaller. So I've kind of given up on the idea. I think the only way to get rid of it must be like some proper exercise, not just the walks. The walks keeps my legs in good shape, I guess, but doesn't really help much for the rest. Yeah, intake is king, yeah. And I love to eat, so I eat so much. So I think that's where the problem is. Maybe I just need to balance my diet a little bit. Be a little bit more wary of what I eat and how much. Elisabeth, jag lyckades. Okej, vad bra. Konstigt, jag har inte sett något här. Det ska komma upp en grej i chatten när du gör det. Men det kanske bara tar en liten stund, jag vet inte. Men hur som helst, tack så jättemycket. So now we're back at this nice little park again. I like this park. It's too bad that it's so far from where I live, otherwise I would come here with my daughter. But we have some pretty nice parks closer to where we live as well. So. And last time I came here I did a beer break here in the park, didn't I? Okej, Elisabeth, jag låter dig veta sen via Facebook-chatten. Ibland kan det ta en liten stund, tror jag. Det är nog bara det som spökar. Tack så jättemycket i alla fall. Any fish? No, don't think that. Maybe over there where the water is a bit deeper there's some fish and also some turtles. But here in this little stream there's not much. Hey do, Elizabeth. Isn't there a toilet in the park? I think it is, but I want to end the stream before I use it. Because when I was using Prism, I could just switch off the camera, but I don't think I can do that in Streamlabs. スウェーデンの公園は飲食 OK。そうですね。公園によってお酒も飲める。基本的には大丈夫ですけど、ダメのなんかお酒が飲めない公園もあります。あともし酔っ払いちゃいすぎるとトラブルになります。警察官が来るとかそういうケースも多い。So yeah, now we are at the Higashi-Koenji Station on the Tokyo Metro Marunouchi-sen. And I think I will end the stream here. Thanks a lot, everybody who joined me today. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, ended up being a pretty random stream. But I enjoyed this walk, and I hope you did as well. So yeah, Higashi-Koenji Station, Marunouchi line. So stop number one is Shinjuku. So we're pretty close to Shinjuku. And here's a map of the park, just in case. Okay, but yeah, that being said, thank you so much for today. And I will see you all soon again. Okay, tack så mycket. Hej då. Mata ne. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye bye.